What's up, y'all? It's your boy Quality back in the building. You know how it is, you know how we do. And today, I'll be talking about my favorite movie of all time, The Great Gatsby. Alright, now where do I begin? Alright, for those of you that don't know The Great Gatsby, haven't watched it at all, I'm gonna be breaking it down spoiler by spoiler by spoiler. You will learn the movie like the back of your hand. I don't get that phrase. Why do people say that? Like, why do people say like you know it like the back of your hand? Is it because you can see it right there, so you always know it? Is that why? Well, anyways, The Great Gatsby, written by Scott Fitzgerald. Anyways, the book opens up with Nick Carraway, our main character. He's like 30-ish, kind of like a ordinary guy. You know, he starts off as like, in my younger, more vulnerable days, my father told me always see the best in people. You know, but this kind of backfires because he tells the entire story of what has happened that got to this point. So he kind of backtracks, which leads us to The Great Gatsby. So, in The Great Gatsby, here is Nick Carraway. He has moved to New York to be a broker or like some kind of bond salesman, you know. And so he lives next to this giant mansion. Bless you. He lives in this giant mansion, and in this mansion lives a guy named Jay Gatsby. But no one has seen Jay Gatsby. They don't even know who he is. They think he's some kind of Russian spy, some like killer from the war, all these rumors. But every night he throws a party at his house. And it's these very extra parties, like fireworks, boom, 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 like fireworks everywhere, you know? And so then, one day, Nick Carraway has a cousin named Daisy Buchanan, and she lives across the bay with her husband, Tom Buchanan. And those are like the rich class, like I have black slaves kind of family, you know? And they're like upperclassmen, you know? And so one day, Nick gets a letter that has his name invited to the party. And when he shows up, he's like, hey, I have this invitation, but no one else has one. Kind of weird. How come Jay only invited him personally? And Nick Carraway is like, wow, I feel pretty invited. But everyone else just shows up. Everyone just crashes the party. Like, they take advantage of Jay Gatsby. And so then, at the party, Nick meets Gatsby. And he's like, hello, it's for I'm Gatsby. And we're like, oh my god, that's Leonardo DiCaprio from the Titanic. And Jack! You know? And so then, they meet up, they communicate, and Nick finds out that Jay Gatsby had a history with Daisy Buchanan, his cousin. And so, he is like, hey, I need your help. I want to have tea with her. And he's like, oh my god, you're throwing her this huge party so she can notice you, and you just want to have tea with her? So they have tea, and what does he do? They catch up, they love each other. It's like, oh my god, it's been 5 years because they had a history, but Jay went to war, and then Daisy married Tom because she thought Jay died or something, and then they couldn't be together. And so then, what does Gatsby do in the situation? He throws shirts at her. He's like, shirt, here's a shirt, look at my shirt. What? To show how rich he is. And she's like, I've never seen such beautiful shirts, which really means, wow, I wish I should have waited for you, you know? All of this, like, wow, what could have been. And at the end of her dog is this green light, and he looks at it all the time, kind of like how I look at my girlfriend. It's like, wow, it's just so magical, you know? Anyway, so back to the story. He's looking at the green light like, oh, Daisy. And another plot line, Tom Buchanan has an affair with Myrtle Turtle, who is the wife of George Wilson, a mechanic that's working under the eyes of Dr. T.J. Eichelberg, like the eyes of God. So long story short, Daisy and Gatsby are hanging out for some more time, and Tom realizes, like, oh, they're having an affair, holy crap. And I don't know why, but they switch cars, and like there's a whole big thing about that, and they argue, and he's like, oh, you can't. Gatsby's like, tell Tom you never loved him, and Daisy's like, I never loved Tom, and they run away. And on the way home, Gatsby's car hits Myrtle Turtle, and Myrtle Turtle dies. George Wilson's like, she died under the eyes of God. I will kill whoever owns that car. And Tom drove that car earlier, and that's why Myrtle thought it was Tom, because Tom and Myrtle are a thing, you know? And so then George Wilson finds out it's Gatsby's car and shoots Gatsby. Bang, 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 bang. And Gatsby's like, oh. And so Gatsby dies. Daisy and Tom get back together and run away from all this, you know? George commits suicide because he, you know, whatever. And Jay Gatsby is dead. Nick Carraway is like, wow. All this chaos. And no one even cared about Gatsby, who just wanted his girl back. Who did all this for everyone else. And he just got backstabbed, you know? Like, wow, this place was awful. And that's why The Great Gatsby was The Great Gatsby. I'm Kwandang. This was Crash Course. Stay great.